there's an explosion of the search in the word willpower on Google Trends. I mean, there's a big bump in the graph. And it just so happened that I was putting together some work for future videos for you, building on this topic, willpower. And it was very interesting. It's one of those words that my entire adult life, I never really knew what it meant. And I don't think anybody else did either. It's like willpower. What does it do? Where does it come from? And if you ever looked it up, the definitions online don't help very much. It's like that old commercial where they're trying to there's a bunch of doctors with white gloves on and they're examining a chicken looking for the chicken nuggets. So it's like I never knew where willpower comes from, and the only place I see it recently is like on social media memes, talking about or geared towards men, using your willpower. And maybe a long time ago I used to hear mind over matter, and just, I don't know, it's just like esoteric. So I thought I'd dig a little deeper into the history of the word. And I went way back. I'll share a little bit of it with you. So let's just jump right into it. Willpower. In the context of Stoic philosophy, especially as understood by Epictetus, you've probably heard of him. This is a Greek Stoic philosopher. So they had a word that resembled will, the will to do something or to just will. It was Prohairesis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it refers to the faculty of choice, will, or volition. So it's ability to make moral judgments and intentions, and to give or withhold assent to impressions. It's a mouthful, right? But it's just ability to make judgment calls. So essentially, it's the unique aspect of the self that allows for independent judgment and action. We'll see later what action really means. It's not really outward physical action. It's not. Because deciding is an act. So that was interesting. And by exerting their will or volition or choice, remember that word he used, people can choose rationally how to react to impressions. So it's a faculty that distinguishes human beings from all other creatures. Epictetus defined it as a rational faculty able to use the impressions and to which all other human faculties are subordinated. And he discusses this in his discourses. It's a series of informal lectures around 108 AD. That's 1,917 years ago. We had a term to denote the will. So the earliest known, let's fast forward now from 1,917 years to modern times. The earliest known use of the word, of the noun willpower, right, is in the 1840s. And it's the Oxford Dictionary shows this earliest evidence for willpower in 1842. It was a magazine from the UK. And I wasn't able to access it because they wanted me to pay. But anyways, it's not necessary because I found a very thoughtful Substack by an author, Helen Henninger, explaining in great detail the modern etymology of the word willpower. So it seems from reading her very thoughtful article that it was appropriated by industry, by capitalists. As you'll see here, according to Helen, the use of the word power, just power, was first used to mean energy available for work in 1727. right? Power. It's energy available for what? For work. And it is from there that we can see the first very mechanistic meaning. Oh, I'm sorry, I am quoting her verbatim here, okay? And it is from there that we can see the very first mechanistic meaning of the word willpower. She says the 1800s were a time of enormous social change, driven largely by industrialization, and it is from there that the concept of willpower got its origin. Helen goes on to say, along with the idea of willpower, the concept of laziness was also created. How convenient. Later, she says, the system of capitalist value raises its head once again, and once again, willpower, capitalist value, and the concepts of laziness and curative power of hard work are inextricably linked. I think there's a wonderful article by Helen, and I'll try to include the link to it in the description of the video. Thanks, Helen. So, I'd like to bring up now a very well-known figure from history you should know about. His name is William James, and he's a philosopher / psychologist and one of the most original and influential American thinkers of the modern era. He wrote The Principles of Psychology in 1890. It's a big book. I mean, it's like 2 volumes, probably 600 pages each. So it's a landmark text that laid the foundation for modern psychology. So in volume 2, dated 1918, he defines the will as such, right? Not willpower, the will. He doesn't use the word willpower. So he defines it as, and I'm just going to read the definition he provided, the essential achievement of the will, because it's the same for us. What is the will? The will. The essential achievement of the will, when it is most voluntary, is to attend to a difficult object and hold it fast before the mind. So, hold it fast before the mind. That means attend to a difficult object and hold it fast before the mind. It's keeping something in our mind. It's like holding attention to something. The so-called strength of will, then, consists in the greater degree of effort, of attention, which the individual can voluntarily exert. Just bear with me here, okay? It's not going to be very tough. I'm just reading this, so it's very complex, his writing, but you will get the gist of it. So effort of attention is thus the essential phenomenon of will. I'm going to repeat that. Effort of attention is essentially the will. So when you're talking about the will, my will, his will, you're talking about effortful attention. He goes on to say, the strong-willed man, however, is the man who hears the small voice unflinchingly and consents to your small voice, your voice, the little voice in your head, and consents to its presence, clings to it, affirms it, and holds it fast, in spite of other competing mental images or whatnot, that try to expel this voice from the mind. So, a resolute effort of attention, sustained in this way, the difficult object begins to call up its own associates and conjures support. It elicits support in the mind and ends by changing the disposition of the man's consciousness altogether. There's not going to be too much of this, guys, so just bear with me here. I'm only Gonna have a few university instructors that are gonna watch this till the end. It's easy. Okay, so in 1899, a couple years later, he has talks to teachers on psychology. It's a book, and he's agreed to do some talks, right? So he states, in the narrower sense, acts of will are such acts only as cannot be inattentively performed. So you can't perform an act. Remember, it's not an outward action. It's an act. When you decide, that's an act. You make a decision. And it can't be done inattentively. That means you have to be paying attention, hold something in your attention, and make a decision. That's it. A distinct idea of what they are and a deliberate... I don't want to go into this thing. So a deliberate mental command or decisive affirmation from your mind has to precede. Okay? So such acts are I think this is the last one I'm going to quote from him. I'm done. One sentence. Such acts are characterized by hesitation, accompanied by a feeling, right? When you're trying to decide something, you've got something in your mind, you're holding attention to it, and you're trying to make a decision. So it's characterized by hesitation, accompanied by a feeling which may or may not carry with it a further feeling or effort. So it doesn't have to have a further effort, right? Sometimes you make a decision, you can't act on it. There's hundreds of decisions like this that happen every day. You decide something, but you can't act for whatever reason, okay? So it doesn't have to have or be accompanied by an outward action. That's not what you're using willpower to mean today. I mean, they've perverted this word. It's just something totally different. No one knows where the heck it came from and why we're using it, why we even need a word like this. It's just, it's mind-boggling. So, fast forward to 2025. You get online, you look it up. The Oxford Dictionary on Google. Control exerted to do something or restrain impulses. Control exerted to do, it's control. It's like, right? It's kind of like signifying some sort of physical action. Exerted to do something or restrain impulses. The American Psychological Association also has its own definition. Willpower is the ability to resist short-term temptations in order to meet long-term goals. Amazing. Here we go. We have goals coming in. I've got a personal opinion on goals. My greatest successes in life, in terms of business and financial success, came when I didn't have any goals. I repeat that. I had 0 goals when I had my greatest success in business and financially. And other times, for decades, I would have goals, very detailed goals. And they're helpful, but goals aren't necessary. I don't know why, just in the last 20 years, it seems like just people are really pressing hard on goals. I think they can be helpful in some cases. I don't think we should put such an emphasis on goals. They're helpful, but they're not the end-all be-all. So it's interesting that they've now manipulated it even more to include in order to meet long-term goals. Gosh, how do willpower now include goals from the APA? It's ridiculous. Merriam-Webster says the ability to control one's own actions, emotions, and urges. That's a whole lot now. Actions, emotions, and urges. The ability to control. I mean, they're really stretching it. They're really stretching it on this one, right? And remember, and look, we've lost the spirit of the word will. The spirit has been completely lost. And there was no need to do that. Study.com, the ability to resist short-term temptation to reach long-term goals. Again, sometimes called determination or self-control. Ability to make sacrifices. Now we're talking about sacrifice. It's we're kind of getting into men's issues, right? Make sacrifices to meet personal goals that prove fruitful in the long run. So we get on our AI tool, Chat GPT. Willpower is about forcing yourself to act. Whoa, forcing. No one likes to be forced to do anything. We don't like to force ourselves to do anything. And now they've taken what could have been a great word and they're using it to force ourselves to do so. That's terrible. The ability to resist temptation, control impulse, or push yourself. Push to do something. Force and push. Gosh, this word is a burden. I don't think men want to ever hear this word. It's just a burden, willpower. It just seems like something now they're making, like you have to carry it on our backs. So they go on, it goes on, this AI tool. As an internal strength to resist impulses, delay gratification, or force oneself to act. Oh gosh. Forcing, and they give examples. Here we go. Forcing yourself to go to the gym when you're tired. Willpower. I mean, if I use the original meaning of the word will, so I can hold attention on my need or desire for physical fitness and the gym, and I know that I don't want to go, but I make this decision, this mental decision, I'm going to go to the gym. That's will and volition. I may touch on that a little bit, but it's not willpower. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I don't know this word, this power. I think in the West, they're just enamored with power. They're all consumed with power. So just everything has power. Just stick power to it. It'll do something better for us. Oh gosh. Resisting a donut if you're dieting. Staying up late to finish a project. It's ridiculous. Willpower. Look, this is from my research, and I spent a great deal of time reading William James' wonderful work. I mean, guy's a genius. Willpower has nothing to do with taking outward physical action. Well, the will has nothing to do with taking outward physical action. Willpower still has nothing to do with taking outward physical action. Like power doesn't even denote that, taking action. And it certainly has nothing to do with setting goals. That's so ridiculous, so asinine. Please, if you know anyone that's defining this word or these words, just be more thoughtful and considerate. It's ridiculous. It's just, we have to go back 100 years now to find what the true definition of a word is. Yeah, have some companies to thank. So, I don't know if I want to go into volition. It's a word I might use in the future. It's a good word. So it's related to will. So attention with effort is what volition implies. Attention with effort. So let's see. The mental act, volition, I'll just give you the definition of it because I'm going to use it in the future. It's a mental act or process by which one sustains attention upon an idea, image, or course of action especially in the face of competing impulses or distractions, right? Effortful attention enables the selected idea to dominate consciousness and be translated into action, the act. Easy. So I would say so here, simpler terms. You have a struggle of ideas, desires, or motives. One finally wins out. At the moment it wins and you begin to act, there's an inner mental yes. So will is the general faculty or structure, if you will. Volition is the specific instance of willing. And then there's a psychological click. That's where the inner act that marks the decision to move into action. So there you have it. Willpower. And if you're out there listening and you have the power not to use this word on a meme or on social media, I think that would be great. And if you do need to use it, just use will or volition, but not willpower. I think it's ridiculous. So I will be building on this in future videos, just like, remember, we talked about, what was it? Life purpose. We talked about a few other things. So there's 2 or 3 videos that just touched on that, but I'm going to be building on these concepts. So if you found this useful, I hope you will share it and like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next day.